A Swift Kick in the Ass, episode 142. Life is challenging and difficult. No one gets out alive. Time to suck it up, Buttercup. Get ready for a monster-sized boot aimed to help you get traction on personal change and get living. I am John Curran, your host. Join me as I share my journey, exploring the forces that motivate us to change and help us get through whatever life throws at us. A swift kick in the ass. Life on your terms. Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curran, and today's episode, shape shifting and problem solving. Wow. Shape shifting. Boy, I need to, stretch out my mouth, I guess, because that's difficult for me to say right now. Shape shifting. If you're a science fiction nerd like me, then you know what a shapeshifter is. It is an organism that can take on any shape that it wants. It could become you. You've heard of doppelgangers, people who look like each other? No. Those are shapeshifters. In some alternate reality. I don't really think there are shapeshifters, but there could be. But I just, want to add some drama. Why not? Anyhow, shapeshifters can also take the form of problems in our lives. And, I think that we all have problems, and there's different ways to look at them. There's different degrees of problems, different levels of problems. Problems. The world is full of problems. And this show is about attacking those problems head on and living life on your terms. Some of the terms that we face in our life, situations or conditions, they could be seen as problems. Now, we define our own problems. We make our own problems because problems are based on our perception, and if you don't see something as a problem, well, guess what? It's not a problem to you yet. Could be. Who knows? The fact is that problems are our own. Everything points back when you look at, what is the definition of a problem, which could be a challenge, something difficult that you take on, or something that's difficult to achieve or accomplish. That's something typically that you own. Whether or not life sent it your way is another question, but it affects you personally. Another definition of a problem is an unwelcome matter or situation. Think about financial situations. You might have them. You might be really pissed off at these creditors calling you and hounding you, and maybe you're saying, you can't get blood out of a turnip, or just crazy stuff like that. Like I kind of used to say when I was really up to debt and up to my ears. That was not fun. And I don't ever want to go back to that, because having that type of problem, having a financial problem, sucks, especially when you're trying to raise a family. And, again, it comes back to the individual. And you might not see your finances as a problem. And that's okay. Again, it just further proves my point. This all comes back to you. If you have a problem, you are the person with the problem, it's your problem. accept that. And you could feel good also about this is that, when we bring challenges on, when we take challenges on, it tests us. And I believe that personal growth, it progresses from the inside out. So, we really grow as people through all of these, through addressing our challenges. And T.S. Eliot had a great quote, and I love it. It should make you feel good about taking on your problems. He said, if you aren't in over your heads, how do you know how tall you are? I love it. Think about it. If you aren't in over your heads, how do you know how tall you are? Because that's how life, you measure yourself. If you're barely breathing, you know what you can handle and what you can't, and what life is throwing at you. And Tommy would love this quote. Betty Davis said it. The key to life is accepting challenge. Once someone stops doing this, they're dead. Think about it. Think about when Tommy was diagnosed with a terminal illness. He wasn't really worried about what happened after he died. He knew he was going to die. He accepted that. I fully believe, he didn't want to die, but he really didn't have a choice. He did as much as he could to be with us, and remain living for as long as he possibly could. He took on that challenge, and he saw it as a challenge. He was worried about he wasn't worried about dying. He was worried about living. He was worried about, getting as much out of life as possible, taking on those challenges. He had to accept that about him, his life and the end of his life. And man, that makes me love Tommy all the much more when I think about, that challenge and what he took on. Incredible. I would not have wanted to go that way. And I don't think anyone chooses that, but he handled it like a champ and like a warrior. And he really did, going back to other, with a concept really that I'm trying to promote, I guess, on this show, is the idea of persona development. If you're looking to change your life, you want to take on some type of persona that maybe you're not all that comfortable with. Tommy was comfortable with the persona of a warrior. He was in the military. He was trained to be a warrior. And he accepted challenges like a warrior. He fought them. In fact, he fought it to the death. Every time that I have challenged myself and really created a milestone in my life to where I can look back and say, you know what? I really turned a page at that moment in my life. It moved me in a different direction or a different phase. I think about my role as a student, which seemed to last forever, quite honestly, because I worked my way through much of college and my master degrees. In any case, it was in that role, that I had to accept, and really it helped me get through all of the challenges and hurdles that the educational system set before me. And it taught me the importance of taking on problems as your own, accepting them, and then addressing them. And sometimes that means just recognizing that that is a problem that you can't solve and you have to let it go. I think that's, things happen in our life and we don't allow them to pass. We hang on to them. When someone close to us dies, that's a great example. We want to hold on to their memory. We don't want to really let them go. But in some ways, we have no choice. We have to let them go. Their life is over and ours continues. So clinging on to that can cause us some pain in some regards, if we allow it to, especially, if we focus on, how they went out, or we really wish they were here, and that starts to interfere with our lives. That's not a good thing. It causes pain, and we need to address that. Even, again, I'm all for personal accountability and the responsibility of the individual to take on their own problems and solve them for themselves. But I will also say you can't do it alone. We need each other to do this, and we expand our own knowledge, our own thinking when we get involved in that process. So, take this on. So, shape shifting. I don't really know how far off track I got with my initial topic, but hopefully you find this interesting. So, one of the problems, as I said, is that when we have problems, we take on the problem, we own the problem, and then we solve the problem. And we work on it till we can solve it, or we just let it go. I think there is another problem, is that we expect this all to end. Yes, we might solve this one particular challenge, this one particular difficulty or worry or situation or condition. We can change that. But something else is just going to pop up. I think no greater example of this is when you're in a physical exercise program, and you start to address one issue. For me, in Taekwondo, it's been my hips. So I've been addressing that, and guess what? That's throwing off other parts of my back now, and now my neck is killing me, and my in between my shoulder blades is killing me. I went to a chiropractor. I found out, I've got some scoliosis in between my shoulder blades. Not too bad, but that's what's causing that pull and that muscle, and damn it hurts. And then in the neck, that hurts. So when I've been addressing and working on my hips, that's throwing other things off. So, you get one problem solved and something else pops up, just like a shapeshifter, right? Getting back to the topic, shape-shifting and problem solving. You push into this shapeshifter, which I kind of thinking of it like a blob. You push in and another part of it pops out. And somehow we expect this to change. And I guess maybe we spend our lives trying to push this blob into some type of form, like a plexiglass cube, like the octopus that you see that goes into a jar. You've seen that on Facebook video or social media or wherever you get that kind of stuff. It's kind of funny to think of, but that is really the way that we approach life sometimes, isn't it? We work on our problems, we address them, and then another one pops and we're like, yay! And then another one pops up and we're like, oh, because we get so tired of this problem after problem after problem. And it's tiresome. And it can drive you absolutely mad. It used to drive me mad until I started to accept that some things just are the way they are. And when you can't do anything about it, no matter how much you want that to change, it's hanging on to that causes you the pain. It causes the friction. It causes the difficulty. And you have to find ways to let that go. For me, it really came through meditation. Recognizing that my thoughts and my person are actually different. My thoughts are a tool that my person, individual person uses. It's my subconscious trying to solve problems, right? Presenting these thoughts or something else, But again, they're just thoughts, and we can attach meaning to them, or we can let them go. And meditation taught me to help me let go of those thoughts that kept on hanging up. Especially when I was grieving and mourning for the death of my best friend. Man, that was tough. And being in a job that was, very, very, I don't know, there was a lack of security in my position for a while. Dealing with that, recognizing, what I could control and what I couldn't, and taking steps to manage that. Looking inward really helped me. And with problems, you kind of have to look inward and start defining your problems and start saying, what, is this a challenge? Is this a problem because this is something that I took on and something that I created for myself? Like if you went out and you spent money and you put it on a credit card, you're going to have to pay that bill. That's just the way I feel. I could have gone bankrupt many times. I chose not to. So that's what I chose for myself. Now, there are good reasons to claim bankruptcy, and believe me, I have thought about it. Very close. But my personal belief, and again, this is just for me. If you feel the need to go bankrupt, then that's up to you and the lawyers and your debtors and creditors. That's not my judgment, and whatever. That's up to you, your decision, not mine. My decision has been not to go that route because I wanted to learn where I screwed up. And I think that when they clear out your debts, that relieves the pain like almost immediately. There's relief, but you don't necessarily learn where you messed up. You get to start anew, but your debt is cleared, but you didn't really learn anything from it. So that's what I'm trying, that's what I think I have learned, and that's why I've been able to accomplish what I've been able to accomplish, because in about 2.5 years, my wife and I paid off over $100,000. And that was while we were raising a family. That's living our lives. And actually, right about that time, I think we moved even to another house. So, life happens and life goes on. And the problems that we face are going to shape shift. It's going to look differently, and it's going to take on different forms. We should, expect them to change forms, but we can't expect them to end. Because you know what? When our challenges end, like Betty Davis said, we die. You know, every day is a new opportunity to take on new challenges, take on new problems, and do whatever we can do to make this life the best for us. That's what life on your terms is about. They're not my terms, they're your terms. Take responsibility for it and change the shape of your life. With that, I'm going to end it. This is John Curran, and this is a Swift Kick in the Ass. Until next time, peace. This marks the end of another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass, placing it directly in the can. As much as I like to talk, even I have my limits. It's time to go. Catch me on the next show. For better or worse, whether you like us or not, please leave comments wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our home on the interweb. I think you can leave me a voicemail there. You can also email me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. It's been my extreme pleasure. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.